week. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll have to follow up a few people who aren't there anymore. I don't know what Adria's doing now. Love to see her back. Mm.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
Jane.
Hey. Here she comes.
Uh-huh.
Slowly. No picture, Jane.
Huh. I don't know what's going on. Well, let's see.
Oh,
Maybe it's my camera. You can
yeah.
hear me, right? Oh, there we
There
are. It
you
There
was
are.
my
you
camera.
are.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
We were just
Sometimes
saying Jane will be in later. Don't know when, but here you are. You're quite early.
I know I'm trying to be.
Lovely. All right. How do we go for the week with our lessons?
Uh, I went pretty good. I really loved the statement that I chose. I'll keep it for this week as well because I want to practice it more.
Mm.
Um, and that was look with peace upon your brothers, and God will come rushing into your heart in gratitude for your gift to him. I just I love that concept.
Mm.
So I'm going to keep that for this coming week as well. How many of us had that one? At least a few people did, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to take that one too, but I got another one instead.
How did you both find it? Did you have any experiences with it?
I had a really good one. I went to this wrap party, which was for this show that I did some costumes for, World of Wearable Arts. And at the wrap party, they'd filmed the show, and so it was just cast and crew, and showed it, and it was at a movie theatre, and showed this film. So it's all the people who were in it were just and part of it were just all really celebrating each other, and it was just so awesome being such a co-creator and being
Oh,
part of this really awesome atmosphere. It was so cool. So I was looking at them with a lot of love and gratitude. Because, us all coming together. So awesome.
that's
Beautiful.
great.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about you, Jane? What was some of your experiences?
Well, I've excuse me, I've had an interesting weekend and week so far. I spent about 9 hours in the hospital yesterday,
Oh,
being tested for being tested for actually my stomach, my intestines. I have this rare tissue disorder in my intestines, and I was diagnosed 5 years ago. But I really it took me some months to get better, and I did. But I'm now kind of back in a similar, not as bad, but a similar. So I went and got tested for that, and then they wanted to test me for this, that, and the other thing. And they always think, as you get older, it's okay, how is your heart? Because I had such weakness. But here's the interesting thing. Um, how to condense this. I have been kind of going along. I have some family members that there's some pushing and pulling in the relationship, and so on. And I've been, stiff upper lip, smile, and so on. You know what? I found out, I realized that I was keeping from myself just how painful it was to feel like their rejection and being having a Christian kind of heart, a Christ-like heart, and but yet it was, it's being taken out in my gut, and I leveled up with myself, and so it's almost feels like a juxtaposition for me because it's like, how to treat your brothers and sisters with love, but yet they're keeping you at an arm's length, and it's really killing me. I say killing me, you know what I'm saying? It's emotionally. And I haven't paid attention to it because I've just been, you know, um, turning the other cheek, um, and so on. And it's and I've kind of leveled up with myself. And so I feel like, okay, so now I'm going to be real. I can still, treat those people who are kind of rejecting me, but yet I'm not going to do what I've always done, and that is to say, God bless them and I'm okay. It's like, no, you're not. You're not okay at all. Your gut is a mess, so it's like I find that so interesting that I was, going along, but yet making myself sick by not leveling. So if do you kind of see what I'm saying,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So so, so wham! I'm
Well,
still gonna be
the body always tells the story of what the mind refuses to believe.
the body keeps the score,
Always.
right?
Yeah. And our
Yeah.
gut
I
is the organ of not being able to digest what's happening.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And right. And so it's like I freed myself, but what's interesting is that I had the behavior of a Christ follower in how I treat others. So it's it's like, well, how about that? Isn't that interesting that I can treat others well, but not level with myself, that it's really hurting me. So it's like, well, okay, just room for growth, right?
Big week. Big week for you, Jane.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you can have unconditional love, but you still need boundaries.
Yes. At first I thought you said batteries. It's like, yes, I feel like I need batteries. I'm like, oh, God, you're you're so smart. Yes, I do need batteries and boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah. But thanks for listening because it's not the usual report from our readings from a week ago, but I had to share it.
Mm. Thanks for being real.
Yeah.
Mm. How did you go, Joe?
Uh, it had two. I think I read them both together, though. The love of God is in everything He created. Listen, and you will learn how to remember what you are. Hmm. I don't know if I have any huge ahas, but it's definitely a good reminder. to really
Mm.
like Jane did, listen to her body. I mean, you are love, Jane. You got to love yourself and do what you need for you and not let that shit take you over. So, I mean, in a sense, it works for me and
All
other
right.
people.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Well, I went with, if God created his son perfect, that is how you must see him to learn his reality. And as part of the sonship, that is how you must see yourself to learn of yours. And I had some awesome journaling in the mornings. So I'm going to have to share this one because it kind of summed it all up. It is a balancing act to see potential versus perfection. Perhaps it would be easier to not view reality as linear, but to see reality as multiple points of time with multiple incarnations of the individual. And I'm only seeing one tiny aspect of that whole at any point in time. And that is the perfect aspect to see, experience, and relate to at this point in time. This may help to see perfection and potential at the same time, also in myself.
Nice.
So that kind of summed up what I felt this week, and it's really helped me to see others and myself. And I also had another journaling day where I just thought, our little monkey minds go on about and we replay all these scenarios that we aren't happy with. Why don't we just replay all the good stuff as well? Why doesn't that take up the monkey mind?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's true.
And it's
Yeah,
like
reprogram.
with it's like what you do, Gary, with the trauma processes where you resource yourself with the times you felt love and and all those experiences that are filling your cup. And it's like, wow, we just do that all the time.
Yeah, fundamentally, that's what the TMRT process is. It's about bringing resources to where you don't have them and focusing on those resources. And it completely reconsolidates the memory, and then the memory loses its belief potential. And so the beliefs, the negative beliefs created from that event disappear. It's for me, it's weird, but it disappears.
Mm.
And it's such a simple little thing that no one has seemed to have figured it out. And I'm still waiting for that moment that I can get it out there to the world in a bigger way. But it's a task that is burdening my patience. I'll put it that way.
Mm.
But I've just started doing live master classes for the TMRT process. So running ads on Facebook, getting strangers to come in, and I'm going to start facilitating groups now. So when a new group from Facebook comes in, I'm going to do a group process and, give them experience. And then I'm going to start hitting up LinkedIn, which would be a much better market for me anyways. But um,
Yeah.
I just have to pay so much money to learn this stuff. But it's worth it. So that's what I'm up to now. I'm working on the book, believe it or not.
Wow.
Such a
Great.
horrible writer, but I'm working on the book. I probably have redone the first two or three chapters about 5 times, and I still don't feel like I have it right.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna just pursue it, keep trudging
Excellent.
along. Right? So,
How far back do you go in the book?
what do you mean by how far back?
In time
Oh,
that you're pulling from
I
and telling about?
I'm doing my best not to make it so much about me, only use it as a metaphor for the things that I went through, some of them, but spending it more on the science of it, the
Oh,
ramifications
I
of it.
see.
So breaking the book into this is the problem, these are the causes, and here are the solutions. And see if I can't group the chapters into those 3 points of emphasis. And I don't know how well I'm doing that yet, but I'll just keep reworking it until I can more distinctly do it. But
Hmm.
I'm excited to complete it. I'm going to make it much simpler and much smaller. And I think that I want to keep the emphasis on the TMRT process, not on all kinds of other things. which I originally was going to do, but I'm not going to do that now. So
Beautiful.
that's the tickets.
Can't wait to read it.
Can't wait to finish it. Huh.
Might be a W.
Yeah, I tell you, it's only been 20 years in the making, but it'll get done.
Let's start reading.
Let's do.
Right, we got that screen up. Number 13. Gary, you want to start us off?
I shall. Do not perceive anything God did not create, or you're denying him. His is the only fatherhood, and it is yours only because he has given it to you. Your gifts to yourself are meaningless, but your gifts to your creations are like his, because they are given in his name. That is why your creations are as real as his. Yet the real fatherhood must be acknowledged if the real son is to be known. You believe that the sick things you have made are your real creations, because you believe that the sick images you perceive are the sons of God. Only if you accept the fatherhood of God will you have anything, because his fatherhood gave you everything. That is why to deny him is to deny yourself.
I'm confused. There's too many double negatives in here. Do not perceive anything God did not create, or you are denying him. Do not perceive anything that God did not create. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I have resolved all the
I,
double negatives in that.
I felt the same way.
You got it now, Jane?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I still get confused a little bit with creation. So if I create a painting, that's obviously a creation, but what else is creation? Are we creating problems, which is not of God, obviously, but so is that what we create? We can create problems, we can create healing, I guess. Is that what we're talking about?
I keep interpreting it, V, as perceiving through the eyes of oneness or perceiving through the eyes of separation. And most of us throughout the day are perceiving through the eyes of separation rather than of oneness. And I think that's what it means. You believe that the sick things you have made are your real creations because you believe that the sick images you perceive are the sons of God. And so to perceive sick images is to be imagining pain or hardship or fear in the future or now, or making up stories about other people. That's how I'm interpreting it.
That's
And
very
those
helpful.
are, kind of sick things.
Mm.
It kind of reminds me of when people will turn away from God because they'll say, well, God created everything. Why would God allow war? Why would God allow a young child to have cancer and so on? Um, and the answer is that no, this is where free will comes in and allows us um, to live in this world and to make decisions that cause ourselves and others pain. Um, but yet, like what really is the answer to something, even like to say to someone who's maybe lost a child that well, there's a silver lining. It sounds so glib and shallow and ridiculous, but I mean it's true. So the creations that happen, um, I guess we have to look deeper and just continue to look deeper for the answers. But then always keep in mind that the oneness.
Well, I think in my mind, to fully answer that question, there has to be a redefinition of time. Because when a child comes into the world and that child is riddled with cancer, the child has done nothing in this life to warrant
Right.
that journey. So there has to be a presupposition that our
Mhm.
souls are timeless, that lifetimes before have caused certain ramifications. And I remember I was studying with Dr. David Hawkins in Sedona, Arizona, which was, by the way, a really wonderful and tremendous experience. And he would say, where do souls go that have to learn about war? They incarnate in Gaza or Israel. Where do they go where they have to learn about famine? They incarnate in Ethiopia, Botswana. Where do they go
Mhm.
where they have to learn about, just ridiculous wealth? They incarnate into the Rockefeller family. So all of us are here on a spiritual journey. All of us are metering out our karmic debts. There's certain
Mhm.
lessons our souls do not have not had, do not learn, have not learned. And this is the university in which we learn that. And we learn it, and unfortunately, or fortunately, we learn it through pain and suffering in the body because we believe we are separate from right from the get-go. With that knowledge or that belief system, we're going to suffer. So, where do they go when they have to learn about insanity or abandonment or rejection or not being good enough? They incarnate into families where the parents are dissociated and not involved and neglectful. How do they learn that other than through those experiences? So if we wanted to look at our creation as this massive matrix of cause and effect, I don't know, I don't have memory of those things that would have caused me to have gone through the things I've gone through in this lifetime. However, I have faith that this is not a place of victimization. This is a place of exact, I don't want to use the word retribution, but exact cause and effect. Whatever
Mm.
action, there is a like and equal reaction. And if I'm experiencing the like and equal reaction in the metaphor of time, then I have to embrace that and be grateful that I have the experience to work through that particular process with as little condemnation to the perceived perpetrators of whatever is occurring to me. And if I don't wrap my head in that thought system, the world looks extraordinarily cruel and God looks insane. And
Mm.
that's the only way that I've been able to walk through difficult things. And it's not like I don't react in negative ways at first, but I
Hmm.
always bring myself back to this is a karmic debt. This is a reaction to some action. And I am on the receiving end of it. Therefore, I must have been the actor at another point in time.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
And then I get peace
Right.
or more peace. I can swallow the pill then better.
Right. Right.
Did that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect sense. You know, I think the thing that really keeps me uh, a, a lot grounded is the fact that I think about we inhabit this earth, and this time is the snap of a finger.
It's a blink of the eye in
Well,
eternity.
yeah, and it's like, well, this too shall pass, and what seems like suffering is just an experience, um, and something I can grow from if I choose to view it as that and not view it as a victim, of someone or something did me wrong, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true, Joe. Only a moment in time.
And time isn't linear.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
It's a manufactured construct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's so well constructed though, isn't it? It's very hard to not just
seems
follow
so
along
real,
with it.
doesn't it?
Yes.
Sometimes you need it, or else we wouldn't all show up at the same time.
That's very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It definitely serves us, gang.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just know that if we don't have a spiritual perspective to life, um, for me, anyways, life becomes just unbearable. I have to have a spiritual perspective. I have to sit in meditation. I have to struggle to still my mind and maybe get a glimpse of a sense of God in that moment. And if I don't, I don't function well. And
Mhm.
I'm not happy. And if I allow it to go long enough, I will get manically depressed. And I can't allow that. So the bottom line for all of us, each one of us has our own system of maintenance on how we maintain ourselves and how we keep our perspectives in alignment with what the truth is, rather than allowing, our lower propensities to become stronger than they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing that.
I think that covers that paragraph, doesn't
Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much.
it? Number 14. Shall I read that since I'm usually the second reader?
Yeah. We might
Arrogance.
have getting a rhythm here. Yeah.
Yeah. Arrogance is the denial of love because love shares and arrogance withholds. As long as both appear to you to be desirable, the concept of choice, which is not of God, will remain with you. While this is not true in eternity, it is true in time, so that while time lasts in your mind, there will be choices. Time itself is your choice. If you would remember eternity, you must look only on the eternal. If you allow yourself to become preoccupied with the temporal, you are living in time. As always, your choices are determined by what you value. Time and eternity cannot both be real because they contradict each other. If you will accept only that is what is timeless as real, you will begin to understand eternity and make it yours.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about time.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I love that paragraph, actually.
Mm.
Does anyone have any questions on that paragraph?
No, but I'm typing out manically.
It's a bit beyond me, actually. I think I believe very strongly in time.
Can you elaborate on that, Coralie? What does that mean? I want to say, what does that mean in real time? But what does that mean in your experience? Like, I mean,
It's just like saying that you can't have time and eternity. I don't even really comprehend that because isn't time part of eternity?
uh,
No, go
what,
Joe. Tell me.
Um, in my perspective, the 3D realm is where time lies, where we have to wake up for work, we have meetings to get to, we have certain time for certain days for certain things. But in the spiritual realm, in the 5D realm, when you're sitting with God, none of that matters. Everything that we're doing here on earth pertaining to time doesn't matter. If you are loving and you are caring and you are kind and giving and all of that, living in the life of a godly person, you might see 500 years, you might see 600 years on this planet, but what does it matter? It's time. Does that make sense? Everybody looks really confused now. Sorry.
no,
Um,
it does. I mean, I have a different way I would say it, but we all this is why Course in Miracles is written in so many different you know takes and repeats itself so much. For me, it's like when you're dwelling on eternity, then like time is a measurement, eternity is not. And when you're focusing on time, it's almost like your moments are segmented with activities that are pulling you out. When you're focused on eternity, it's still in one place and it doesn't change.
Mhm.
So that's why I think it says time and eternity cannot coexist. It isn't so much, my perception is, it is the focus of your mind that puts you into eternity, and then time doesn't matter.
yeah.
But if you're focused on the segmenting of your day into activities, then you're separate from that state of oneness, and you're in the world in your doingness rather than in your beingness. That's my sense of it.
Mhm.
Did that
So if
help
you
any, what Joe and I've said?
But yes, but you still have to live in time, don't you, if you're going to have a human experience.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mhm.
Why I said I bounce back and forth between the two.
mm,
For me, it's about how much time do we spend in eternity? If you really think like each one of us, like I spend time in meditation, and sometimes I can get to a little glimpse of eternity. But how much time do we actually spend in a moment where it's timeless and we're just in this state of eternity. And that is where the sweetness of being in the human form is. But if we're constantly in time, that sweetness just is almost unreachable.
Mm. So it's really about being here now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is what it's saying. It's because time is
Yeah.
the past and future.
And in that eternity is the realization, the closeness with God, and also the love that we all seek. Robert and I were out on a pontoon boat on Lake Washita, and we moored ourselves on this island, and we're just laying in the boat, listening to the waves up against the pontoons, and the sun's setting, and it's warm out and it's beautiful, and there's no one on the lake. And Robert and I both simultaneously look at each other, and we just burst out crying. And I'm just like, this is so stunningly beautiful. And I'm in
Mm.
such peace in this moment and such love for him and him for me that was just spontaneous. It's like in that moment, we saw each other's souls. I live for
Mm.
moments like
Mm.
that. And it just happens spontaneously. I think for me, that's what it's like to not be in time,
Mm-hmm.
to be in the appreciation of creation and the love of God in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's precious.
Mm.
I
Yeah, I
love
like
that. So
that.
time is a measurement. And if
Yeah,
you're focused on measuring, it's just that little thing. It's not the whole picture.
that's not the whole picture at all.
Mm.
It's sort of like people who are afraid to die, mainly it's because they didn't live
Mm.
in the now. Um, they lived in time. They, almost like, robotic. I have to be here, and then after I do this, I do that, and and so on. It's like, well, how did you enjoy the this and the that? Well, I don't know, I just did it.
Yeah.
Then you didn't know you were there. Yeah. Mm.
I haven't spoken of goals for a while, but that's kind of what that is. It's like you're focused on something and you reach it and then you go, what next? And you
Right.
don't enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Hmm.
Are we happy with that one?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next section. God or the ego. Who wants to read that one?
Usually me next, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, usually.
We're looking at you.
Either God or the ego is insane. If you will examine the evidence on both sides fairly, you will realize this must be true. Neither God nor the ego proposes a partial thought system. Each is internally consistent, but they are diametrically opposed in all respects, so that partial allegiance is impossible. Lots of big words in this one.
Yes.
Mm.
Remember, too, that their results are as different as their foundations, and they're fundamentally irreconcilable natures cannot be reconciled by vacillations between them. Nothing alive is fatherless, for life is creation. Therefore, your decision is always an answer to the question, who is my father? and you will be faithful to the father you choose.
Mm. There were a lot of big words in there that, well done, Coralie.
The thing I don't get, is well, I do get nothing alive is fatherless, for life is creation. But when it says, therefore, your decision is always an answer to the question, I, I don't know where to place that.
So the question is, who is my father? So is your father God or ego? That's how I read it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see.
And yet we still have to live with an ego, don't we?
Mm.
Mm,
You're muted, Gary, just so you know. I saw your mouth moving, so
I did. I said, yeah, we do.
otherwise you wouldn't write a book.
Very true. It's not my
Yeah.
most
mhm.
enjoyable task.
Do we need to break that up anymore? Or should we move on to number 2?
I'm all for going to 2.
Jane, do you want to read that one?
Sure. Yet, what would you say to someone who believed this question really involves conflict? If you made the ego, how can the ego have made you? The authority problem is still the only source of conflict because the ego was made out of the wish of God's Son to the Father him? Oh, to father him. I'm sorry about that. Let me reread that. The ego, then, is nothing more than a delusional system in which you made your own father. I'm sorry. The authority problem is still the only source of conflict because the ego was made out of the wish of God's Son to father him. The ego, then, is nothing more than a delusional system in which you made your own father. Wow. Make no mistake about this. It sounds insane when it is stated with perfect honesty, but the ego never looks on what it does with perfect honesty. Yet that is its insane premise, which is carefully hidden in the dark cornerstone of its thought system. And either the ego which you made is your father, or its whole thought system will not stand. Wow.
Hmm. That sentence you had problems with, Jane, the authority problem is still the only source of conflict because the ego was made out of the wish of God's Son to father him. I see that as any church that has written a book and said this is how it is,
Mm,
and then create
I
all
got a
that
little,
yes.
dogma.
I got a little bit of a mental block on this because the ego is made out of the wish of God's Son, which is us, to father him, which is capitalized. I don't, I don't get that.
Mm.
How is it that I am attempting to, I don't understand that. God's Son to father him. Does anyone have any
Yeah,
clarity on that?
that's what I was just saying is that it's what anybody does who writes a book about Jesus. It's like we're going to put him in a little box and we're going to use that to say this is what you should all be doing.
Okay. That makes total sense. In fact, I gave a big talk to one of my clients today on this very subject.
Mm. Which I'm sure some of these books are written with good intent, but they all seem to be wanting, well, not all of them, but there's good in them, there's the intention, but then there's it's been used to create a whole system around the ego, really.
Well, there's a whole movement, not to, dish on anybody's truth. There's a whole movement in the United States that is ridiculously misogynistic, that the woman does not get to vote. She doesn't get to make decisions. She influences her husband, and that's the only voice she has. Her husband makes all of the decisions, and they are promoting this as God's plan for humanity. That the men must control the household and the women must be subservient and obey their husbands. And it's not a small movement, it's a huge movement here in the United States right now.
Really?
Oh, huge. I know
Mm.
several clients of mine, female clients of mine, that are being religiously abused every day to the point of violence. Um, so it's quite interesting to see how people will make a thought system and make God be the slave of their needs and their
Mm,
ego's desire to have it be a certain way, and then formulate the scripture to support that, and then harass people as not following God's path
right.
by
Right.
disagreeing.
Yeah.
Happening all over the
Wow.
country. It's wild, wild.
Gary, I had no idea. I'm in my own New York world here.
It's a
And
little blue bubble.
it
You should stay
it
there.
it is.
I'm in bright red Arkansas. It's all around.
Wow.
It's curious as all get out, I'm telling you.
Thanks for sharing. Mm.
Do we need to sit on that one any longer? Or it's 6 minutes to the top of the
I
hour.
sort
Do we
of,
read another one or?
I was just going to say on that one that I sort of see it like you need to, or you might want to take responsibility for creating your own ego, that you actually made it all of that up and then you called it your father, which,
Mhm.
like it says, sounds insane, but
Mm.
yeah, that that's all your fabrication, all your you know, thing, your past. It's actually like ties back into that time thing again. Your
Mm.
past and your future, you just have your way that you interpreted that in your ego
Wow.
that you created.
And if you remember the I mean the paragraph before that, it was all about focusing on eternity. So when we
Mm.
focus on eternity rather than our narrative,
Mm,
um, we sort of nosedive into the deepest parts of illusion and make our narrative our Father.
Mm. And aren't we good at it?
That was a
Oh my
great
God,
Carol.
masterful.
Yeah, right.
Huh.
Hmm.
The next paragraph is actually quite long, so I reckon we should leave that. I think
Okay.
it will create a lot of conversation. I have a
So we
feeling.
got through 2 paragraphs tonight.
Actually, we got through that, so that's 2 in the new one, but we finished in the old chapters. That's
Oh,
4.
that's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just making that we finish paragraph 2. I'll stop sharing so I can see you properly.
Got a lot out of today.
I'm not sure what my lesson's going to be.
Yeah, it was quite meaty. I'm going to stick with last week's one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess I'll go with your decision is always an answer to the question, who is my father? And you will be faithful to the father you choose. I think I can make that an exercise. What was yours last week, Carly?
It's look with peace upon your brothers, and God will come rushing into your heart in gratitude for your gift to him.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm.
I am going to stick with mine as well, same as Carly's. But I just wrote one that I think is really powerful. Well, it's in my own words, so it's not that powerful. But it says, focus on eternity rather than the narrative of your ego.
Mm.
Yes.
And that will help me look with peace upon my brothers, and God needs to
Right.
come rushing in my
Yes.
heart with gratitude for the gift I'm giving.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I'm taking down one of my post-it notes and putting that one up.
Excellent.
I highly recommend post-it notes on your computer screen, gang,
Hmm.
because then I have to see it every day.
You're assuming
And
we're
make
not
sure
all
they're
of them.
different colors, right?
I have different colors. Yeah, I have green,
Yeah.
pink, and yellow.
Yeah.
Who else has
Well,
got?
I'm going to go with arrogance is the denial of the heart because I'd like to be more aware of when I'm arrogant in my own skin because I would be denying my own heart and my own being in flow and having the love come to me and having the love go out and arrogance just is it's like the clogged arteries of the heart.
Mm,
Mm.
mm. Joe, have you shared yours?
Have I? I have not. Um, I wrote down a couple, but one of them just really has me clueless. And I wrote, nothing is alive, or nothing alive is fatherless, for life is creation. Well, we'll see what comes out of that this week.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm. Fabulous. It was a heavy read, I think, this week, but
No, it's good. It's
mm,
good.
yeah, powerful
Yeah.
conversation.
Much appreciated.
Mm,
Yes, thank you.
thank you,
Feel like
everybody.
I've learned a lot.
Have
Mhm.
a lovely week, and I look forward to
Thank you,
seeing you next
guys.
week.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so
See you
much.
later.
Bye, everyone.
Tremendous.
Bye.